Welcome back to the show where we are having a bit of a World Government Summit special. Now, our next guest has been globally recognized as the youngest Emirati inventor. Join me in welcoming Fatima Alkaabi to the show. Fatima, thank you so much for joining us on DXB today.
Thank you for having me.
So Fatima, governments today are looking at youth voices to help shape innovation. What role do you believe the younger generation, such as yourselves, that are innovators and inventors, can play in helping, the future of government policy?
I think we play a huge role since we're the generation that's going to live in the consequences of these policies, right? I think younger people have an interesting perspective and they could be the co-designers of the future. We have maybe different experiences because we grew up a lot, so much happening in the world today. And what I love about the summit and other events happening at the moment in the UAE is that they're integrating youth in everything, in every decision, every conversation, at every table. So I'm really excited to see how we can play a role at this summit and the contributions that we'll have with the policies that are being introduced.
Amazing. I'd love to get Inzimam's take.
I would love to know from you, Fatima, this is a convening of diplomats, of world leaders from all around the world. How important is it from your perspective that you're taking what you know so well, that you've been doing, I think we were speaking off air since the age of 12, to people like that who can actually implement policy and make change globally?
I think it's a great opportunity to be in touch with those leaders, to express our own personal experiences as young innovators, thinkers. We have ideas and we've seen them publicly all over the place of how young people, if they're given the right opportunities, can thrive and create amazing things. But our main issue is how can we take those things and leave a huge impact on our societies, on our communities. So what I love about the summit is that it allows us to be in touch with those leaders, to express our opinions, to have one-on-one conversations with them. And I was lucky enough to attend multiple times and have those conversations with these leaders, telling them, I've got challenge ABC that I need help with. I've got this idea, how can we grow them? And it's been incredibly amazing. And I love that we get to see them in a different light maybe and get to have those conversations, grab coffee with them, run into them in those events. So it's been lovely.
I totally agree with you on that because it's very important to have events like the World Government Summit and of course having the youth representing the future as well and all the ideas that we are going to have later on. But I also wanted to congratulate you for being the youngest innovator here in the UAE. But I also wanted to talk about the AIEmirati company that you've had as well. So if whoever is watching that doesn't know what it is, can you please tell us more about it?
Of course. So I started AIEmirati with my co-founder only a few months ago. And it initially started with the frustration of AI. I work with AI every day at work, on my personal projects, and I realized when I wanted to generate simple images of Emiratis or even of myself, it was really bad.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's very, very bad. Starting with mixing, women's wear with men's wear, to details now of the Emirati kandora, or abaya, or hijab, things like that that might not be obvious to many, but are very obvious to us. And initially started as an Instagram page. I was just posting how different models perceive Emirati identity, asking about henna patterns for Eid, if you could design an Emirati kandora, how would you design it, and so on. Then I realized there's a gap in the market. A lot of people were seeing those things, but not realizing that they were wrong, or they were building their own systems and didn't have the right data to feed into their systems. So my co-founder and I decided that maybe we need to build something, blending our background in tech and journalism, to build this company, and now we create our own data sets centered around Emirati specifically, but the goal is to build a framework that we can implement on any culture. And we also do a lot of public installations, classes, and events to bring Emiratis closer to their culture, because we love technology, but we have yet to create technologies that are rooted in our culture and rooted in the things that we know, our grandparents know, our parents know. So it's been a really interesting journey, and I'm really excited I'm excited for all the projects that are coming out. I think it's going to be interesting to teach the younger generation about our culture through technology.
Incredible stuff. Fatima, it's quite obvious that you are an innovator and a creative. I want to know, what do you think governments can do to help nurture that in the next generation?
Of course, I think I've been lucky enough to be the prime example of what happens when you have the right support and the right resources. I started at the age of 10, but I officially got the title of the youngest Emirati inventor through the UAE Pioneers Medal from His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, which doesn't sound like a typical thing you would see. Who receives an honor from the government with a title like that, right? But I remember it made a very big difference for me, being able to speak on public stages saying I have one of the highest honors in my country with a title like that. Even being taken seriously at work, at opportunities that I have globally, it's been different for me, and it's opened so many doors. When it comes to building those ideas, we've built an incredible ecosystem for entrepreneurs, for innovators. And I think with governments, we can still bridge that gap more, especially this year with the themes of AI. How can we take young innovators who have ideas, youth of the UAE who make up the biggest population, and turn them into proper systems that exist in our governments, exist in our schools, in our universities. So we're still not there yet, but I think with the right conversations, we'll be able to bridge that gap.
Oh, Fatima, I love it, and congratulations for receiving such a huge honor at such a young age. It's a testament to your work and how hard you work. Can I ask your opinion on how you believe that has impacted the way you have moved forward, looking at impact in this country after receiving such an honor?
With every honor, you get a bigger responsibility. And I've been lucky enough to get those honors, but to me, it became a duty to give back to the country that has given me a lot, whether being able to study abroad and come back to the UAE with a scholarship or the different awards. It opened my eyes to the amount of work that I still need to do, right? There's a lot to do, and we'll never stop innovating, we'll never stop creating new things. But today, I'm not the youngest inventor anymore. And that to me is a great accomplishment, because in the past, there weren't any young inventors or young girls in STEM, and today I can say there are more than I can recall today. We could sit all day and mention names. So to me, the goal is to pave the way for more people to get into it, and to remind people that you can be innovative in any industry that you're in, and you could leave an impact wherever you are. And you're in the UAE, the impossible is possible. You could do whatever you want because you have the right support, so why not take advantage of that?
Amazing.
I think you're outrageously humble, Fatima, because we've seen some images of you receiving your awards with Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum and Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed. But I want to specifically go back to World Government Summit. And you know, you've met some great world leaders already, but if you had the opportunity to go up to one world leader at the World Government Summit, what would you go up to them with? What idea are you putting in their face and asking them to implement?
It's a very difficult question because I think a lot of young people and a lot of creatives would agree that a good idea that I think of today might not be good tomorrow. But honestly, one of the leaders that I've had the best conversations with is His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed. Although he's a head of state, very busy guy, he's very tech savvy, and he's asked me a lot of technical questions about some of the projects I worked on that I realized I needed to prepare more next time I see him. So if I do run into him at the summit, I would love to answer some of the questions he's asked me in the past, and also bring up some ideas specifically related to how we can combine technology and culture for the next generations.
I really like, it's very nice seeing you implement that, especially that, because it's going to preserve the culture, it's going to preserve all this for future generations. And I find it really interesting as well, because a lot of people are still very worried about AI taking over my job. Are we sure we want to integrate AI into the government sectors, into our ministries? We have the first AI minister in the world, and I can see more countries are adopting something like that. So what's your take on that, to anyone that's worried about what the future would be holding for that?
I mean, I don't think anyone is as anxious as our generation is. We're known as the anxious generation. We're worried about what's coming, and I think with technology and AI, it's not bringing us closer, it's separating us, and that's something that worries me so much. Just seeing how my younger siblings deal with it, my friends and family. So I realized maybe we need to do something about it. How can we build ethical systems? How can we still preserve our culture without distorting it with technology? So I think it's still difficult, but we're at the right place. The UAE has taken steps before other countries to build the policies and set a great example. And I think soon enough, with the summit, I'm actually excited to hear what new updates are going to come out regarding AI policies with everything that's been happening. Yeah, it's okay to be scared, but also it's our role to make a difference. And we can still learn how to use them correctly and ethically without destroying our culture and everything we know about our country.
Definitely. And
now, Fatima, before we go to break, sorry, I have a burning question to ask you. Because you are so inspirational, what advice would you give young people in the UAE about the future and contributing to their countries as meaningfully as you have?
It's very difficult to give one piece of advice, but for me, I always remind young people to stay curious. There's so much happening in this world, and it's very important to stay updated. Today, you could be fooled with a simple video that you're watching or an article that you read thinking it's real news. So it's always good to keep your eyes open, your ears open to what's happening around you, to stay curious. And you don't know, I mean, I stumbled on inventing and technology while trying so many different things, and it's become my thing. So same with you, stay curious, try new things, and you don't know, maybe you might find the thing that will make you cool and will help you change the community that you live in.